Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right, and with Michaela singing, that means we are back in the lobby bar for the week of June the 30th, 2025. Brian and Michaela here with you. And Michaela, we had a pretty good weekend, a pretty hot weekend, but it was pretty good. It was hot. The weather was hot. The bourbon was
Yeah, it
hot.
wasn't hot in the
Everything
fun
was
kind of
hot.
way. It was hot in the sweaty swamp
It was very sweaty.
body
Yeah,
way. It was gross,
it was. Yeah, it was
but
a
it was
little. It was
still
a little.
fun. It was still
It was,
fun.
it was a little gross outside. Yeah, we took the weekend. They were having a festival up at Southern Distilling Company, which is up in Statesville, North Carolina. So just about an hour-ish drive from us, and we wanted to go check it out. If you follow us on YouTube, you might have seen I did a bourbon review of one of their bourbons a couple weeks ago, and we had tickets to go to this festival that they were having there. So we went and tested a bunch of, or tried out a bunch of things and voted on some things and had a couple of cocktails there, like an old fashioned. One was like a blood orange mule. But I think the highlight for our time at the distillery yesterday was this whiskey cucumber thing that they had.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it was amazing. It was amazing. And I think I have pictures of the recipe. I think I took some pictures of like it wasn't anything necessarily fancy to look at because it gave it to us in class plastic cups, but that was a triumph. We're gonna recreate that at some point for the pod
Yeah,
because
for
that was
sure.
amazing.
Yeah.
It was delicious. I was not expecting to enjoy cucumber and bourbon in the same sentence or in the same sphere of taste bud uh, profile, like flavor profiles, but it hit
Mhm.
and it was delicious.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Look for more information on that. I'm probably gonna try to get a video put together. Just got a little bit of video and some pictures from the event. But yeah, it was a cucumber sour, so bourbon, lime juice, and cucumbers, simple syrup, easy peasy. But that was delicious. So, Michaela, I mentioned it's hot, right? Plus, we're getting into like Fourth of July is this coming weekend, and I know that you're gonna have some guests in town here over the next couple of weeks, and a lot of people do cookouts or pool time, especially around the Fourth of July holiday here in the States. So. I was trying to think of something that we could make in a lobby bar that would be good for parties, good for beating the heat, good for having a couple of these. You don't want to get you don't want to get crazy when you're having a party, right? You need to keep your head about you. And I found something that I think is right up our alley, and it caught my eye because it's called a summer shandy punch. Now, a shandy is something we've
Mm.
talked about a few times here on the podcast. So, Michaela, would you mind reminding everyone at home listening if they don't know what a shandy is, if they're not familiar with it, make a super basic one, and then I want to talk about this punch.
So shandy is basically beer and some sort of soda. Generally speaking, if you're in England, it's going to be lemonade, so like a lemon lime soda. In America, it's a Sprite, so it's half beer, half like Sprite or Seven Up, something like that. It's very light, it's very refreshing. You can drink a lot of them because they have a much lower ABV. Which is good because when it's 1,000 degrees, when it's close to the surface of the sun here in the Carolinas, we want to drink a lot of stay hydrated, and it's hard to do that with really high proof stuff. So that's what a summer shandy is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I found this punch. It's called the Summer Shandy Punch. It comes from delish.com. And I said, that sounds really good because it's going to be a lower ABV. It's going to be nice and refreshing. You can make this up ahead of time and you can, make it a big batch of it if you're having a bunch of people over. So pretty simple. Into like a punch bowl or like a pitcher is how I normally do mine. Go ahead and take 2 lemons, thinly sliced, 2 limes, thinly sliced, an apple, sliced, and a cup of blueberries. Go ahead and put all of that into your pitcher or into your punch bowl, and then you're going to go ahead and put in roughly a cup of lemonade. Now, I'd like to go ahead and do this, set it in the fridge for a couple hours until you're close to serving time. Let all the fruit break down, get some of the juices out of there, infused with the lemonade. And then when it's time to serve, pull that out, and you're going to add to it 1 can of ginger beer and 2 bottles of wheat beer. So, like Hogarden from Belgium, or you could do like
Yeah.
Blue Moon, or if you have a local wheat beer, definitely use that. But 2 bottles of that, and if you want a little bit more effervescence, you can add like a half cup or so of seltzer water to that to give it a little extra bubble. But I like this because it's like a punch. It's very like fruity. But also, really highlights kind of the flavor profile of those wheat beers. This sounded delicious. I'm very excited to make one.
Yeah, we're going to do this. I'm going to make it happen. This will be my 4th of July. Democracy is dying, but hey, nice fireworks day. It's going to be wonderful. Maybe I'll do like two batches of this because if all you really need to do is take out the wheat beer and add that later, and you probably have like a very nice kind of mocktail summery punch that you can
Hmm.
give to anybody. You can always, save off and add the beer later. So this sounds like it's also really pretty with all the blueberries and the sliced apples and the lemons. Like this is gonna be a hit.
Yeah, absolutely. You could swap in just like some Sprite or 7 Up or something like that in place of the wheat beer if you wanted to do for kids, if you just wanted to make the base. That's a good idea for your party as well. So go ahead and mix one of those up, or if you have any other good summer punch recipes, send those our way because we are definitely needing them here as the weather does not seem to be letting up anytime soon. Let's talk about movies here. Michaela, F1, the movie we're going to be going to see here in just a couple of hours, takes the weekend at $55.5 million. So very respectable showing there for that Brad Pitt Formula One racing film. I don't really know anything about Formula One. Maybe I'll learn something tonight. I don't know. How to Train Your Dragon comes in second. Elio third. Megan 2.0, pretty disappointing. $10 million, I think. And then 28 years later, holds into the top five. Quite a slide there for it, down to $9.7 million. So F1, we're going to be seeing. Maybe we'll do a little short episode about that on the podcast here for Patreon. Something this week after we've been out to see it. I don't know if there's going to be any cocktails for that or not. Stay tuned for more information on that. But what are you hearing? Just off the top of your head, anything good about F1? Tom Cruise seems to love it. he's
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
he's on board with it.
I feel like there is a very special relationship between Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. I don't know much about it, so but I feel like since the dawn of the 90s, like hit films, they have kind of been kind of tag teaming each other
Th-
in
They were
various ways, right?
vampires
Because
together.
they were vampires together. But they've both been like they've gone through it, right? They've both been considered like really underrated actors that were only like pretty boy characters. They've both done a lot of very stunt driven things. They've both done a lot of action stuff. They both are now being, given kind of thought of as like lifetime achievers in all of the different films that they've done. It's different. Like in as vastly different their career trajectories have had, they do seem to also really support each other. So I kind of love that. We talk a lot about girls helping girls. I think it's neat when there seems to be true friendships amongst men, like romances, as it were, in this
Hmm.
business. You know, so I don't know. What I've heard about the movie, a friend of mine who was like almost worked for F1, I sent a message to him. He's not seen it yet, but he said that it was going to be the best Formula movie ever made. He was sure of
Okay.
it. So
Are there others of
people
those?
that well, there are a few. There are a few out there. If you know, you know, I guess. But I feel like this is going to make a ton of money,
Mm.
just based on who's in it. And I think Javier Bardem is in it as well, right? He
Yeah,
looks he looks
Javier Bardem
amazing.
is in it. Damson Idris is in it. It's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who directed the last Top Gun film. So I do believe that it probably is fun and fast paced, and it's going to be fun. I don't think it's going to make a lot of money, Michaela, because we've got a bunch of things coming out starting this week with Jurassic World Rebirth. Get out of the way, F1 dinosaurs are coming. So we've got that coming out. We also have re-release into the theaters, the 41st anniversary of a film that I have it on good authority that you've never seen, Michaela. But go ahead and turn it up to 11. This is Spinal Tap, back out in theaters, which makes sense. Why do you celebrate something on its 41st anniversary? Well, that's because Spinal Tap 2 is coming to theaters in September, no doubt. So I don't know, probably not going to make it to the theater to see it, but you need to see Spinal Tap. Michaela, come on.
Oh no, now I have to go. Now I have to see it in the theater. It's something that has to happen. I've heard so many things about Spinal Tap and so many like one-liners that I recognize,
Mm,
but
hmm
I
hmm
I don't have any context for. And so it's part of rectifying mistakes that were made perhaps in my childhood and movies that I didn't see but should have. And then there's a lot of movies that I did see but probably should not have. I'm gonna rectify that. I'm definitely gonna have to see it in the theater because that makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the 41st anniversary. Turn it up
The
to
four
11. you know?
Turn it up to 11. Absolutely, yeah. And then we'll have the sequel out. Like I said, I think September is when that's slated to come out. But Rob Reiner's back to direct. It's going to everyone in the band is going to be back. I think for the film as well. And there after the band has taken a 15-year hiatus, so I think that'll be great and a lot of fun. So that's what you got coming out this week. Not a lot else streaming or otherwise because it is 4th of July week here, and we're into the summer blockbuster season. So I guess now is a good time to make sure you're getting like The Bear watched for sure. Last week we talked about 28 Years Later. That was really good conversation about the newest iteration telling of the 28 franchise. That's what I'm calling it from now on. And this week we're going to be going back to the well, not its 41st anniversary, but 30th anniversary. We're going to be talking about Clueless. So we're going to be going back to high school with Cher and Dion and all of them. So you can check that out. You can check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/drink the movies. That's where we have our Patreon bonus episodes. We did 28 days and 28 weeks later to get us ready for 28 years later. We've also got hangouts come in, some more bonus episodes. We'll be doing something fun here later this month, and then our monthly hangouts as well. So make sure to check out patreon.com for more of that. And then I think that's going to do it, Michaela. We have some time to get a couple of bases of punch made before we go to see our movie. That way we'll be ready for the weekend. We can just relax and watch movies, stay in the air conditioning, and then have a good time. So if you're going out to celebrate the 4th of July or just going out to celebrate summer with friends,
Mm.
family, do that safely. Have a good time, and we'll talk to you next week in the lobby bar.